12. Pain and sex and pornography addiction. The Anunnaki created great stigma in humanity by punishing us. We still do this with our own children when we don't know better. We punish them to get our will instead of having them work with us to create effects on a higher, more positive level. Just like here on Earth, the visitors created hierarchies to punish. That was their service to self way of manipulating reality. And in our usual manner, we copied what the gods did and we got hierarchies on Earth as well to control and punish those we thought were less worthy. Pain got into the picture, and because no one wants to experience pain, we became afraid of being punished. And when the gods started using humans for sexual pleasure, which included pain, we have the following 3 attributes: pain, sex, and fear. Branching out from this, we now have pornography, child pornography, sodomy and sadism, masochism, sex, which was originally the stargate to the cosmos and the tight connection between two human beings, spiritually and physically, has now become perverted and associated with pain and something bad. In certain religions, they are even telling us that sex is very sinful and should only be done in dark rooms, under the cover, with the purpose to create children. This is very destructive thinking, instigated by very sick and degraded people. Today, it's culminated with all these government people and others in respected positions in society, who have been busted with child pornography, incest, sex with minor of both sexes, sex slave trade, and the list goes on. We're once again back to Atlantis, where this was common trade as well, when the gods were still here and practiced all this in abundance. We learned from our masters. We are sexual beings and we need sex, not only to reproduce. The need for sex is embedded within our DNA. We can suppress it, but when we do, we usually don't do it easily, and if we manage, it feels like a sacrifice. Some people, due to cultural beliefs, think one should stay in a monogamous relationship and or marriage with an intention to stay with the same life partner until we die, when possible. This is a very noble thought, and if it works out, it's probably a very good thing. You get to know the partner in and out, and if you have the right attitude to sex and know what it does on higher frequencies, you can reach the heavens together by experimenting with it. Your energies will merge with time, and not only during the sex act, and you have the chance to grow tremendously together. However, here is the catch. Societies which value marriage before everything else and look down upon divorce and relationships without being married contribute to the old pain and sex punishment doctrine. There are a high percentage of people in marriages who don't have sex anymore because they don't love each other, or they've grown away from each other. They still stay together, even when the children are grown, because they're supposed to. Due to their belief in this, they become sexually frustrated, feel they miss out, and at the same time have bad conscience why they don't have sex with their partner. Pain and sex. Instead, when we feel we have grown in different directions and nothing can be done to turn it around, we must move on. It is the same thing that is happening on a global scale right now. The old must die to give birth to the new. We are here to experience life in 3D and not to get stuck without learning. Find a new partner who meets your frequency and start anew. All breakups are painful and heartbreaking on different levels, but the reward in the long run is well worth it. Believe me, I talk from experience. When two people no longer match each other's frequencies and the person with the lower frequency is unwilling to learn, consider that marriage over and move on. Then we have the category of people who live in a society which values monogamy, but they want to break the pattern and have sex with different people while still being married, even engage in group sex. This was quite common in the 1970s. It's good to break patterns and experience something new to see where it leads to. However, old values started kicking in after a while, and jealousy came into the picture, not to speak of STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. Many kept a straight face, pretending to feel good about the promiscuous behavior all around them, when in fact they felt more and more lonely and lesser loved. People never got the chance to grow together and feel safety and stability with each other when everything was just casual and there was very little genuine caring involved. One of the most destructive thing we can do is to engage ourselves in pornography. Unfortunately, it's everywhere in the Western culture, and it is addictive. People who've started seem to not be able to stop using it, and with time it becomes more important than having sex with a partner. Pornography addiction skyrocketed because of the internet. Not only is it addictive, messes up our sex lives, separate ourselves sexually from others, but it is also of such low vibration that the user and or abuser stands a big chance to be subjected to entity, demon, possession. Bodiless beings in the lower astral planes love the sexual energies and to experience them, because you need a body to do it. The user of pornography, when he gets sexually aroused and gets an orgasm, they open up portals through which these lower astral entities can enter and attach, just like black magicians attach entities through certain magic rituals. When they open portals for powerful demons to come in, at least the magicians know what they're doing, most of the time, but the pornography user normally doesn't. The attached entity then uses the mind-body of the person who uses pornography and makes it into an addiction. It can become very destructive and degraded after a while. So, for the sake of the growth of your biomind and spiritual awareness, stay out of that and find fulfillment in other ways. Whether you have a partner or not, it's nothing wrong with masturbating, but don't do it while looking at pornography. Other cultures are used to having sex with anybody at any time, whenever they feel like it. Children or adults doesn't matter. If a child is old enough to have sexual feelings, it's okay to experiment. This is more common in tribes who live outside of our type of society. They have a more genuine caring and love for each other as a group, tribe, and can still feel the closeness with their partner. I bring all these different beliefs up because that's all they are, beliefs. But when you put a belief system there for others to adopt and insert pain and fear into it, you will get serious problems. The Anunnaki knew this too well, and used it both on us and within their own hierarchies. In this today's world of functional insanity, people in Congress, the Senate, the office of the presidency, or the house of the Pope go to work in the morning and watch porn on the internet, physically abuse fellow employees or children sexually without thinking twice about it, believing they will never get caught. On the other end of the spectrum we have the common people who believe these insane persons who are supposed to lead our nations and our religious institutions are working for the best of humanity. Although the blinders slowly come off many people's eyes, it's still common belief. We cannot discern who is the bad guy and who is the good guy anymore. Way back in ancient days, when we chose leaders of a tribe or a smaller community, we chose them by reading their energy fields, not by how slick they were with their tongues and who could read a pre-written manuscript and who couldn't. We have suppressed our psychic abilities and forgotten how to be multidimensional. We once again need to learn how to read energy fields and stop electing people to represent us who are functionally insane. Then, when our liberties are taken away, one by one, we can't really blame them, because we were the ones who elected them. They just do what they intended to do in the first place, with our blessings. I know that not everybody in high position is elected, but we placed them there anyway through our inactions. Linear time was something we agreed upon together as an experiment, but it was never meant to have such traumatic twists and turns to it. Almost immediately, we were taken advantage of and controlled by those who don't want us to evolve and become more powerful than them. Believe it or not, albeit we perceive our reality as linear, which means we have cut off most of our multidimensional existence. This 3D experience will make us very powerful once we've regained our multidimensionality. The controllers know it and want to keep us stuck in this reality for as long as it is possible, like pressing the lid down on a dish that is boiling over. Our reality is falling apart. It's easy to see. It can't sustain itself anymore, and that's because 3D reality and linear time have outlived themselves. For many of us, the experiment is over and it's time to move on. However, now there are those who are setting up the beginning of a new experiment without our consent, knowing that the inevitable is going to happen. People are going to escape from this reality no matter what the controllers try to do about it. So instead they are trapping curious souls in a new reality, which is the machine kingdom and virtual reality. This is the new prison for those who haven't had enough of entrapments already. This is the new form of control. Feel a need to be part of it? There are many young souls incarnated on Earth as well, and they are eager to take a ride through a free will 3D universe cycle, and by all means, that is what they may need to experience. There is nothing wrong with that. It's anyone's choice, but I know I'm ready to ride the phoenix and be born again out of the ashes of the old symbolic bird. That's why I am living in these times.